Y'all. It's the time, it's the moment. All right, tonight we're joined by an actor, producer, and storyteller who has made an undeniable mark on stage and screen. From his breakout role as Dr. Jackson Avery on Grey's Anatomy to his Tony-nominated performance in Take Me Out, he's proven himself as both a leading man and a I'm gonna say that again, fearless artist, okay? Now as star and executive producer of Hotel Costiera, he continues to expand his vision and his voice. Y'all, get on your feet for Jesse Williams!
What's up, Jesse? What's up? Good evening. What's up, everybody? This is beautiful.
Right? This is like
being here. This is after days of nonstop press in multiple countries. It's a beautiful thing to be in this space with you all, look out and see your faces. So, thank you for being here.
all right, you guys. So me and Jesse go way back. I'm gonna get there in a second, but I feel like Jesse, over the course, get your tea right. Get your tea.
I gotta
get
get
a
my
little tea kettle.
I
Get a
got
little
my
tea
tea. I
kettle
feel
for
like
you.
Wayne gonna try this over.
Go in. What are you doing? Tea kettle. But listen, I feel like I know you, Jesse, and we'll get there in a second. But doing my research, I feel like I learned so much about you. We're going to discuss Hotel Costiera, but I kind of want to help folks understand how you got here. Growing up into Chicago, when did the showbiz bug kind of bite you?
Late. I didn't start acting till I was like 28. I was gonna be a civil rights attorney for sure. I mean, first I thought I was gonna be an NFL football player, and I didn't fill out. But I was gonna go to law school, be a civil rights attorney for sure. I went to Temple University in Philly. I taught high school, taught public school in Philly.
Folks from Philly here?
Taught African history and African American history in Philadelphia, and then I was gonna study for the LSAT. And sorry, my throat is just worn out, so I'm gonna have some hot tea.
Yeah, no, take your time.
Then I started working at law firms in New York, and I had done a commercial when I was in college. I used to take that Chinatown bus from Philly to New York all the time. Remember that like $12 bus? That would sometimes catch on fire or whatever. And I had booked a commercial in college that paid for my first trip to the continent. And I was working in a law firm, kind of like quarter-life crisis, like what am I doing with my life? What's the plan? Working 90 hours a week at this law firm. And I hit up that old commercial agent that had got me that gig. I had made like 10 grand, which felt very rich at the time, and asked him if he could get me some like legit, we call them legit in New York, auditions to act. And he was nice enough to introduce me to a small agency, and they gave me a shot. And I would sneak out of I would like lie about my lunch break and take an extended lunch break and run down to auditions, and like 5 days later I booked Law & Order, a classic New York job, and started working. And then started doing theater in New York, and did a film called Brooklyn's Finest, Antoine Fuqua's follow-up to Training Day, that we shot in East New York, and just got started.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And it's funny, our paths, drink your tea. Our paths crossed, Jesse, back in like 2006, y'all. I worked at a hotel called Soho Grand, after being a page, before I began working back at NBC. And Jesse you were a busboy at one point, you were a server.
I was real Jamaican. I had every job in
You
there.
were a host. And it was
bus bartender, waiter, host, caterer. I mean, you gotta work. Yeah, we used to be in the locker room. Me and Chris will work. I'm staying there tonight. That's where I still stay.
I know.
I used to work there.
Yeah. But what did working at that hotel? I think because you guys, the craziest part working there, I'd be at the front desk trying to like check folks out, and folks would come to the front desk and be like, "Excuse me, that guy over there, like, is he an actor? Like, what does he do?" People saw it. They saw that you had it. That those 2 years when I worked there. What did working at that hotel do for you in terms of like your trajectory of your career?
Well, I mean, one thing, because I wasn't an actor then. The answer was no, I wasn't. I wasn't. I was just starting to audition.
Yeah.
And what it did for me, I had an incredible manager, Kelly Fahey, there.
Yes,
remember?
Kelly.
And she's a
Shout out to
trip.
Kelly Fahey. That's the homie.
And she I was trying to audition, like, yo, can I duck out during orientation? Like, it was busy, can I duck out? And go to the audition? She was like, yeah, she would always make room for me to, she was, she was a shepherd for us to pursue our dreams. She wasn't going to get in your way. She understands. She didn't take it personally. They'll get somebody to cover it for you. And she allowed me to sneak off to go to this audition for this film, this big Warner Brothers film. And I got it. Yeah, that was when I was focusing on sequels at that stage in my career. That was just Stranded Part 2. And I booked that job, and I mean the real story is she kept my spot warm for me because I went and booked that job and brought my ass right back and kept waiting tables again because you don't make no money when you first start. And I kept doing that, and that was a real interesting lesson. I worked at Tribeca Grand, Soho Grand. You just keep working and put your ego away and stay humble and just work. And whatever you're doing, do your best and be good at it. And I had to learn that lesson a few times because it's a trip to be, I wasn't on the Jumbotron, like Kanye said. It's hard to be humble when you're standing on the Jumbotron. But I was in a big movie that people saw, and then waiting tables, and people were like, ain't you that guy? And I'm just like, bread? Like, still or frizzante? Like, and you're trying to be cool. I was, in my late 20s. It was, I learned some lessons. I learned some real lessons.
Yeah. No, and I feel like being at that hotel, when I saw you book that, I remember you told me you were going to audition for it. And then when you booked it, I was like, yo, I have to get my shit together. Like, I remember you getting that role and me saying, okay, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to get back in the business. I was taking a little hiatus after the paid program. So
yeah.
that was fuel for me. That was like fuel for me.
It was a good crew, and we learned a lot from each other, I think, you and me specifically, but also the group. I was always so grateful to have spent my 20s in Brooklyn, in New York as a whole. Because unlike many other places, like everybody your age or younger, or feels like everybody, so many people your age or younger are grinding harder than you, more creative, just hustling. It's just that leash that just pulls you forward. I took it as a very positive level of competition. I learned, when I moved from Chicago, I moved to the suburbs in Massachusetts and was kind of staggered by there's so many people that we're going to stay here. Like this was just going to be their life. Yeah. And that's fine. I don't mean this as a judgment on the suburbs. That particular one was whack. But like it's easy to feel like I'm a big fish in a small pond. And that shit is whack. Like you're not being tested. Like be around people who are smarter than you, who are more interesting than you, so you have somewhere to go and grow. And New York was that for me. And I've always been super grateful for that. And we had a good class.
We really did.
Of hustlers.
We really did.
Yeah.
We really did. Yeah. Going from Sister of the Traveling Pants and just like auditioning and working, what was that moment for you, Jesse, when you were like, I made it and I belong here as an actor? I think for a lot of folks, it's probably Grace, and you're Dr. Jackson Avery. But what was the role for you when you knew that you had made it?
I'm trying to be sure I'm telling the truth on this, because my first thought was, honestly, it was when I got the first 2 weeks after I decided to act, or 5 days, whatever, and I got that Law and Order job. We're somewhat in a safe place. I can do whatever I want. It was just, is this what I'm gonna do? The issue for me, if I'm being really honest, wasn't can I do it or am I qualified to do it, it's hard to pick one thing. I'd be a dope attorney. I still want to be an attorney. Like there's other things I want to do, but this life you kind of got to pick a few. And do I enjoy it enough? Is it satisfying for me? I was raised to be a revolutionary. I was raised to be an activist. I was raised to be in service to Black people. That was what was beaten into me as a child. It wasn't my choice.
I'll be glad for that.
It wasn't my choice. It wasn't. Yes. That was my father made that. That was mandatory. So I can't take credit for that. But that's all that really mattered in my household. So to go into the arts was not something that, though my mom was an artist and art was celebrated, I wasn't nice at any. I'm not like a good painter or drawer or musician or anything. That wasn't something I saw for myself. It was to be in service. So until I could kind of process how I could be an on-screen or film and TV or in theater artist that is in service to my people, I couldn't see it.
Wow.
So once I saw how I can be an example, and that it really does matter, it really is, media really is That's some real shit. Like the lens through which we see the world.
1,000%.
Like I grew up watching the news, but everybody don't watch the news. Like we learn about people through what we see. We learn about the humanity of a person or a place or a sexual orientation or something through characters.
Mm-hmm.
You see their soul, and they have a mom or they have a sister, and you fall in love with the person. It's not a statistic. It's not a black and white photo. So some people kind of knock. I think there's like a faux humility that some people in the business feel like they have to put on. Like, well, I don't have a real job. Are they a real job? Like, no, this is a real job. I'm proud of what we do. I think it's important. It comes with a lot of privileges, and it can mess up your head if you're not solid, if you don't have harmony in your soul to begin with. But it is important. And once I found that, then I just decided that's what I was going to do. I wasn't sure I wasn't going to quit and go to law school. That's still a big passion of mine. I do a lot of work, nonprofit work with attorneys. I think civil rights attorneys are some of the most important people in the world, and certainly in our country.
Yes.
So yeah. So I don't even remember what the question was, honestly.
But you answered it. And for me, you guys clap if you saw him on Broadway and Take Me Out. Yes. Okay. We're getting that Hotel Costiera, but in a second, I want to know. With that, to me, it was just like brave. Firstly, brave, bold, and brilliant. Like those are how I would describe it, those 3 words. How did that role, Take Me Out, kind of take you up in your career to get you here?
That did affect my confidence in a positive way, because that shit was hard. It was a really demanding, it's 8 shows a week for the better part of a year. And it took a lot. But I will say one of the things that soothed my soul about that was, because keep in mind, when I first decided to start acting, I got on a big show and I was just on that show for like a decade. So yeah, I was acting, but I was on the same show 10 months a year for 10 years. So I couldn't really do anything else. Huge privilege, it is not a complaint, but I wasn't in the game. I was just in a great store in the field. So when I broke out of that and did this work, that was the first time I felt like my peers and other artists in my field that I respected were watching me do my thing. Like everybody watches Grays, but don't nobody watch Grays. Both are true. Huge show, monster show. Sean is an absolute genius. But it's popular in a different way. And what I was doing on Broadway, I think, brought an integrity to the craft and my craftsmanship, and being a lead in that show, and it being a cerebral show, a smart show, incredibly written by Richard Greenberg, who we just lost, who just passed, unfortunately. It's a brilliant play. The play was dope mostly because it's a brilliantly written play. But that, like being out, you do a show, you go out you meet people. They used to come back to your green room. Now you just kind of meet. It was post-COVID. So I'm meeting these incredible actors, like actors that are coming like, yo, that was, none of them said yo, but that was amazing. And it's my first time I'm kind of looking eye to eye with movie stars and incredible writers, and they're like seeing me work, not seeing me give a speech or a talk, and that's cool too. But so that was nice. I admit that was a level up feeling, like I am breathing the air that I'm supposed to be breathing. If that makes sense.
It felt that way. It felt like you belonged there, Jesse, on that stage, and that it felt like you were fearless, which I was scared for you, but you were not.
Yeah, people were like, do not do this. Why are you doing this? Don't do this.
No, but to me, you leveled up in your career. Let's talk Hotel Costiera. Y'all clap if you love this show and you want more of it. It was so good. In my mind, Jesse, I feel like there are probably lots of projects that are pitched to you and that you're offered to work on. What drew you to this project?
What drew me to this was a few things. First, this came to me super early and unfinished. It was written in Italian. It was an Italian concept that had kind of been crudely translated to English and put in a script and shared with me. And it had a showrunner. It had Adam Bernstein attached, who was a director behind Breaking Bad and Fargo and Better Call Saul and Sinners, but also on the comedy side, 30 Rock and Upright Citizens Brigade. He's a
All
G.
the things, yeah.
So that mattered. It's a super collaborative medium. Like, actors get a lot of the credit, but you need a lot of people to work at a very high level in concert at the same time to pull this off. And I've made crap with people who didn't know what they're doing, just kind of betting on myself, and I've made great stuff. You want partnership. And he was somebody who I could trust. But really it started with the character, like a guy who is living in a duality. He is authentically several things and in between worlds. Also kind of a master of something, but still missing important tools as a man at this stage of his life. I think it was kind of this like emotionally underdeveloped or atrophied guy who was a G in this world, but maybe can't maintain a relationship or be emotionally available. Is like authentically Italian and authentically American, but kind of neither. He's black and he's white. He's both, but he's kind of, like I just always pictured him in a boat with no oars, just kind of like floating out there.
Yeah.
But he's really good at a couple of things, but like, that doesn't mean you can steer your own life. So it started with the character, and then I can't pretend it didn't sound very intriguing to go do my own show for 5 months in Italy. That definitely sounded nice. But being able to really dig in as a producer, use the mindset I already have. I care about the details. I care about the collaboration. I love a team win. So to be able to collaborate and learn from folks and help develop the characters and the narrative and the wardrobe and art direction and the casting and all of that, like it was just something that excited me, and I felt like it was the right thing at the right time. I also really wanted to get out of the country. I wanted to. It's a big world. Once I started traveling, I don't want to stop, and I think that it's important, especially as Americans, we kind of live in this singular perspective and think we are everything. And we're just not. There's a big world out there. There's a lot of beautiful things happening and different perspectives.
And what was that like for you, Jesse, kind of being the odd man out, being the only American in the cast and kind of representing that?
It felt right. It kind of represented the population of the world. Like, we are not the majority.
Wow.
But I had the power, so it was very American. But you guys aren't filming this, right?
Like low key.
Cameras. But no, I'm kidding. But it was that felt fine. It didn't feel. I didn't feel outnumbered in any way. I'm curious. I'm a curious guy. I want to know I want to know what your perspective is. I want to work on the comedic timing with like doing a scene with the 2 British actors and an Italian and 3 Italian actors and a Spanish actor and a French actor and a Libyan actor, and we're speaking 3 different languages in a scene. Like, that's interesting. I never done that before. I want to be challenged. After doing the same show for a long time and the same wardrobe and the same set, I'm trying to do weird stuff. I'm trying to just expand and fail and succeed and like make mistakes and figure things out and just try something. So
I love that.
Take some risks.
And speaking about failure and making mistakes and all those good things, I talked to Brian Tyree Henry. Some of y'all were at that Vibes interviews, right?
A wonderful human
Amazing.
being.
And he said when he got Dope Thief, he felt like a sense of imposter syndrome, almost like I'm not leading man material. I'm not ready to be a leading man and an EP. Mm-hmm. Did you ever battle that at any point where you were like on the fence about, can I really do this? Am I ready to do this?
No, but the honest answer is no. I didn't, but I have that in many other places in life and times. Yeah. I have that in many other parts of my life, but on this, no, I had it. I love what I do. I love it.
Yeah. And you're filming it. I don't know if y'all watched and saw what I saw, but it was like a postcard. In certain scenes behind you, I was like, this looks like a postcard.
Stunning.
It's like paradise. But were there any challenges, filming in paradise that you guys overcame on set?
Yeah. I mean, small challenges. I mean, look, we filmed. So all this stuff is in Positano, which is Amalfi. We say the Amalfi Coast. The Italians call it the Costiera, but Costiera is like a general term for like 4 towns: Traiano, Positano, Amalfi. And there's 1 road in and 1 road out, and it's the booming season is like May to now. So we had 2.5 weeks to shoot everything in that hotel, and then we had to get out because they had to go make some money. And there's only one road in and one road out, and that's a narrow ass road. Like if two trucks are going against each other, one has to back up. And it's low season because it's rainy. The weather's kind of unpredictable, and so we had a very limited time to shoot. Every scene in and around that hotel had to be shot in the first 2 weeks. We hadn't even necessarily written all those scenes. Like I had to shoot, and so acting. A couple things. Acting on film and TV is pretty weird compared to theater acting because you're acting out of order, like really out of order. I'm shooting scenes like mourning the death of a person who literally hasn't even flown into town yet. I haven't met them yet. And then you got to meet them, and then you're breaking up with them, and then you meet them, and you fall in love. Like you're shooting things really out of order. It's a different skill set, related but different. But this, we had to shoot everything really fast, and you're anticipating, you're imagining, and you're pretending in a lot of different ways. So just like narrative-wise, it was tough, but we lost a lot of days. You got to move inside because it's raining, but that happens on everything. But walking to work, I mean, this is the real view. It looked like it's a green screen or it's
Yes.
fake. It was a trip to like walk down to work every day and see this. I did a lot of thank you, gratitude prayers for sure.
Oh my God, I love it. And speaking of like thank yous and gratitude, I think about all the stars that you've met who you have to be so grateful for, like the Meryl Streeps you've worked with, Only Murders in the Building, if y'all watch, she's in that as well. I mean, I can go on and on, Steve Martin, etc. What advice, or any advice that those legends might have given you that you kind of took with you to this mountaintop moment in your career?
Yeah, I wish I had a cool piece of like a quote. I honestly don't at the moment, but I do vividly remember observing these people work. I mean, the best, they say like show don't tell, like you follow people by what they do, not what they say. And in working, you're right. Since Broadway, I definitely worked with Jessica Lange and Kathy Bates and Martin Short and Meryl Streep and these people, and you're watching the level of preparation and that downtime, the little like self-rehearsal, have people who like get their foundation, they have it, then they can be present and they can kick it and they can talk. Some people can't, they need to go get it, or some people already got it and they don't. Meryl doesn't need to look at anything. She had it mastered 2 months ago.
Oh my God.
So just everybody's process, and what that did for me, what that has done for me is it's one of the many things that demonstrates like there is no 1 or 2 or 3 ways to do it. Like it's literally whatever works for you. But a lot of these comedic actors, Martin Short and Paul Rudd and Steve Martin, like comedians are geniuses. Like the comedy is so hard, and what we see is 1 out of 60 takes.
Yeah,
and they just go. It's a brain. Have you ever seen like Robin Williams have a conversation? Like these people are aliens. Like there's so much information coming through, and being able to improv is something that I really have a lot of respect for, and that's a lot of what we have to do, because you have the written word. All this stuff starts with writers are the most important members of the team. We don't have anything without them, but we get to build and expand and play with the foundation that they laid. So I've been able to watch and observe a lot of that, which has been helpful and kind of gives me permission.
I love that. And I love that you're an EP on this show, Jesse. Star and EP. What is a role? Now that you're an EP and star, you can get stuff greenlit probably very soon. What's the role that your soul is kind of still craving to play?
2 things come to mind. I'm developing again. We started and paused for a minute because we lost him. But Harry Belafonte was a dear friend and mentor of mine. And we are developing a project about his life where I'll play him and produce with his daughter, Gina, producing as well. So that's one of the next things on my focus list. That, and also a villain. I want to do some dirty villain.
Ooh, okay,
shit. Yeah. Okay. I don't know how to take this, but 2 things happen when I spend time with people for the first time. 2 of the most common things people say is like, you should play a villain. I don't really know how to take that. I don't know what that means. But then also they'll say I should do more comedy. So I don't know. I'm given multiple personality disorder.
Well, I'm here for Harry Belafonte. I'm ready for that one. I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
Jesse, we always wrap our Vibes of Houston with the same question. What is the lesson that's taking you the longest to learn?
it's got something to do with the relationship between procrastination, self-belief, and completion. You can be, I'm learning that I can be confident and fortified and self-possessed in a myriad of areas and still be lacking in other areas, maybe the most important areas of my desires and ambitions. And finish what you start. I think that's the kind of something I'm going through. There are some things that I want to finish that I just haven't, and there's really no excuse. And some I'm examining some of what that is about, and we have fears we're not aware of, and just like to look inward. That's usually where most of the answers are. So the value of finishing and sharing, getting it out. I'm thinking of my example as creative, but that also has to do with I've certainly made a transformation in my personal adult relationships and being radically honest with the people in my life, and it's just very liberating. It's much easier.
Amen to that. Yes.
So I have found that to be something that has solved a lot of issues in my life as well. So I just got to carry it over to the rest of my life. Yeah.
Well, Jesse,
before you finish, I just also want to say, as you said, Chris, we used to be in the locker room together, changing into our uniforms.
Yes.
And I just want to give that right back to you. I'm incredibly proud of you, brother. You bringing people together in a very, very real way that matters, that lasts, and you're doing it in a way that is not about you. You're spending your time lifting others up and gathering people together in fellowship. It's a really beautiful thing to do, especially there's a million other ways for us to distract ourselves. And what you're doing is important, and I appreciate it, and I'm really proud to see you doing this. It's where you belong.
Wow. Someone give me some Kleenex. Jesse, seriously, thank you. And honestly, y'all, I've known this guy now from doing the math. It's been like 18 years, and I feel like you're just getting started. I feel like the best is yet to come. I'm so excited for what's next, man.
Yeah.
And you guys, this show, it drops on Wednesday, right?
Yeah,
I think all
24th.
6 episodes. You guys make sure you run it up. Use Prime Video, the hashtag Hotel Costiera. Add us at Pop Viewers, at me, at Jesse. We'll be posting.
And
thank you.
look, there's a million shows that come out all the time. I really do appreciate you all coming out. You could be anywhere and support. Like that first couple weeks on a show makes or breaks the show. I really appreciate any of your support, spreading the word. That buys us another season. That lets us keep making and creating and expanding on the storytelling process. If you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. I respect that too. But if you are, or we really do appreciate it. It changes lives. The support,
So
the
what's
work
that mean?
other folks do. So
That
I
means
appreciate you.
run it up, y'all. Run it up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you.
You did not to say that, man. Thank you.